olukwe General M7 lwebadde aluse okutakyagulanya ssentamu Robert Bobi Wine agava mu ggwanga lya Bungereza galaga nti alumuzaalidde ebikaawa era kati ali mu kufeesa yejjusa lwaki yaluse olukwe luno okwagala okutakyagulanyi ate ne lusimattuka n'amulema okutta kubanga ate ebivuddemu bibi nnyo n'okusinga bye yabadde asuubira mbuno bijja kuba bya lusaago. Bulijjo amawanga n'abakulu be yali yalimbalimba nti ne Uganda eriyo demokulasiya bamutaddeko akazito kanene kuno talusimattuka. Jaso tugende Bungereza eno tulabe entambula ng'ebintu bwe bitambula ogenda kumanya nino Kyagulanyi mulalamu.
Invest in the so-called investment in Uganda. There is no Uganda tomorrow under this brutal dictator. When you invest in Uganda, you are investing in our culture. When you invest in Uganda, you are investing in our mother. Because the brutal dictator, he has put us for the last 40 years. Because of our land, because of our minerals. This man is a foreigner. This man is not a Ugandan. People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
We are here. Some of us have been living here for more than 30 years. We call this is our country. But Uganda also is our country. We think about our ancestors, how they are being abused, how they are being tortured, how they are being raped. Under the brutal dictator M7.
Yes.
People power.
Our power.
People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
NUP.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
NUP.
My brothers, I've already talked to you. Invest in Uganda. You are going to lose your money. By the grace of God. By the grace of Allah.
And
the
life.
brutal dictator is going soon.
What about Tanzania?
Tanzania is saying,
okay,
you can go and invest in Tanzania.
Go to Tanzania.
You can invest in
Kenya.
Kenya.
Is good.
Not Uganda. In Tanzania, under this brutal dictator, they've changed 7 presidents. In Uganda, we still live under the same brutal dictator. People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
Don't go to Uganda, even as a tourist. You'll be murdered. Muslims are not allowed in Uganda. Muslims are being killed in Uganda. For standing on the truth by calling the brutal dictator M7 to go. People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
NUP.
Everywhere. MP.
London.
Kato, oyinire no kukabo bano likafutu engejikiriya. Thank you.
Thank you. We've had it all time and again. Here we come again on the same message. We are looking for democracy. Once there is instability in one part of the world,
Nkubira omukazi oyo picture. Waliwo omukazi ajja n'alingiza n'addayo.
today we're talking about one part of Africa.
Here comes the investors.
Called Uganda.
What you see are the investors going.
We are talking about a country that has been violated from the time of independence.
Those are the investors entering the building.
We're here to advocate for the violence of human rights in Uganda. My colleagues are friends to me today. I'm going to retaliate a little bit back. As I've already said, we had Churchill going to Uganda, and he titled Uganda the Power of Africa. What happened? We've heard about the so-called monster Idi Amin. Everybody labeled him as the monster of the generation, the dictator. But guess what? Behind Idi Amin, there was another dictator who was worse than Idi Amin, believe it or not. The dictator behind Idi Amin was the one Museveni, the imposter in the president's office today. Now, I would like to address the people who are listening today on the violation.
What you see there is an investor.
In Uganda. Ladies and gentlemen, we might be making noise, but there is a message to us across. Ugandans are suffering. Ugandans are dying. You remember the 1994 massacre in Rwanda? You gave it a deaf ear. But believe you me, over 1 million people died in Rwanda. Now Rwanda is the next door neighbor to Uganda. Did you ever find out what caused the massacre in Rwanda? It all started in Uganda. Who was watching the massacre of 1994 in Rwanda? It happened on the watch of Museveni and Kagame.
Museveni must go.
When we come up here and we talk about these things, these are crucial issues that are affecting human rights. When we talk about human rights, it all starts from your home. Like my colleague mentioned, we've been away for over 30 years from our countries. We come over here. England has hosted us long enough. Enough is enough. But as long as the legislators, the lawmakers like Lord Popoff,
Yes.
Priti Patel, these are the people who are dealing with the dictator in Uganda.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's not be fooled. You take those brown envelope from the dictator. You are creating injustice and displacement of Uganda.
Those are the so-called investors.
Taking on so much load after you messed up. Lord Popoff, shame on you. You are the position of the Lord, the lawmakers, the legislators in this country of democracy. The United Kingdom is the mother of democracy. How come we have legislators dealing with monsters around the world? These dictators who have created instability around the world, the whole world is in turmoil. Do you like what you see? Do you enjoy what is going on around the world? So when you see all of us here standing wearing the red berets, wearing red, that is the color of the opposition party. That is the power, the color of the people, elected by the people to work for the people. Now, our opposition leader, the president, the elected president of Uganda, was shot last week. It is a shame. It is a shame that it is a shame.
Be on the right side.
That we are here.
Be on the right side of the people.
Crying for freedom. Especially the people.
Yeah, you may be judged. Be on the right side.
The dictator. It is a shame. Because you also left your home.
Time may not be on your side.
Why don't you go back home? The question is, all the people working for the dictator, you are fueling the injustice of Uganda. The elected president of Uganda was shot a bullet 3 days ago for the simple reason because he is the opposition. And he was elected president. Now, right behind me, the Radisson building behind me, apparently
Mayfair
Hotel, which I don't want to involve because it's a lovely hotel.
Very expensive, very posh.
Unfortunately, they've been fooled to host a bunch of goons, colleagues. Be honest. These people don't deserve to be hosted in such environments because they are wasting the taxpayers' money from Uganda. But ladies and gentlemen, don't get me wrong. This money is some of the British money as well. They are living a luxury life because the lawmakers, the legislators in the United Kingdom go ahead and fuel and support this illegal government. So that's why we're here to highlight, expose the injustices that these people are doing. These are very expensive hotels. But if they can host these delegates, supposed to be delegates from Uganda, unfortunately, these are bloodsuckers gathered here behind us. So ladies and gentlemen, don't be fooled. And we apologize for the officers around here who think we're making so much noise. But the noise is justifiable. The noises are justifiable, ladies and gentlemen. Because the more we keep silent about these issues, the more the world goes in topsy-turvy scenarios, situations where people have been displaced now and again. And the British people are fed up with picking up the pieces. Innocent as we are, we're paying an arm and a leg just to survive. What for? To sustain these dictator governments around the world. Look at the Ukraine people being displaced. What's happening in Russia? What's happening in so many parts of the world? They are all suffering. I want to tell you one thing, any immigrants that you see on the soil of the United Kingdom, they've got a story to tell. So don't just chase them around. Have a word with them. Talk to them.
Our power.
The message is about Uganda. There is no security. The infrastructure is diabolical. The health system. Apparently, the elected president, Robert Shagulanyi, the president of the people, to work for the people, was shot by M7's gunmen, monsters mafias as we call them. He was shot on the streets of Kampala yesterday. So we're here to advocate, to expose the injustices of these people. We know you are listening inside this building and you can hear us loud and clear. We are begging you, if you're going to do any business with Uganda,
De-invest, not invest.
if you're going to invest in Uganda, you're investing at your own risk. Let me repeat that loud and clear. If you're trying to invest in Uganda, you are at your own risk. Do some investigation.
Yes!
We are not bad people here. Ladies and gentlemen, we are not bad people.
Yes.
We are professionals here. We've decided to speak for those voices that cannot speak for themselves. Believe me, in Uganda, we cannot have a peaceful demonstration like we're having here today. That's why we're taking advantage of this situation to expose the so-called mafia people in this building right now, trying to exchange deals. All the investors in this building, you can hear me loud and clear. Let me repeat this one more time. Don't invest in
Uganda.
You are risking your
Money.
You are
Finances.
risking your health. You are risking the people of Uganda. Take your money to Tanzania, to South Africa, anywhere else, but please
Don't invest in
walk away
Uganda.
and run from Uganda if you can. Don't risk your money in Uganda. It's a failed state. That's why we're here making all the noises. We are Ugandans. We are born and bred Ugandans. But hey, guess what? We love the British people because they listen and listen. They give us the freedom to exercise our democracy. So, ladies and gentlemen, like I tell all the investors, listen to the small voices on the street.
Right.
These people are monsters. Trust me, they're a bunch of mafias ready to rip your apart. What happened to the Rwanda program? Pretty much, where are you? SURVE, come and talk about the Rwanda program. Who paid for the damn program? That was my money and the British taxpayers' money. Have we talked about it? Thank God you're kicked out of office anyway. Because you're a bunch of useless flops.
Another Ugandan.
And there you another Ugandan.
Yes, that's Patel is a Ugandan.
Ugandan. The whole lot. Unfortunately, even Rishi Sunak comes from Tanzania, apparently. So they know what's going on. They are just bluffing around with people's lives. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. The message is these people are rude traders, rude mafia people. Don't believe in them. Uganda bamufuulira olwaleero abali gye muli yonna naddala mwabagamba nti ayina omuwa ffe twasoma ffe twakola yagala obabulira bannange
Mbuga.
mukimanyi bulungi mwafuna omukisa okgenda mu masomero ago agabayamba okutuuka emutuuse naye ate biki
cannot afford even a £1 meal a day while they are here in the so-called investment. They are investing in our lives. They are investing in our
money to Tanzania, to South Africa, anywhere else. But please
Don't invest in Uganda.
And run from Uganda if you can. Don't risk your money in Uganda. It's a failed state. That's why we're here making all the noises. We are Ugandans. We are born and bred Ugandans. But hey, guess what? We love the British people because they listen to this. They give us the freedom to exercise our democracy. So, ladies and gentlemen, like I tell all the investors, listen to the small voices on the street.
Right.
These people are monsters. Trust me, they're a bunch of mafias ready to rip you apart. What happened to the Rwanda program? Pretty much, where are you? SURVE, come and talk about the Rwanda program. Who paid for the damn program? That was my money and the British taxpayers' money. Have we talked about it? Thank God you're kicked out of office anyway. Because you're a bunch of useless flops.
Another Ugandan.
And there you another Ugandan.
Yes, that's Patel is a Ugandan.
The whole lot. Unfortunately, even Rishi Sunak comes from Tanzania, apparently. So they know what's going on. They are just bluffing around with people's lives. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. The message is these people are rude traders, rude mafia people. Don't believe in them. Uganda bamufuulira olwaleero abali gye muli yonna naddala mwabagamba nti ayina omuwa ffe twasoma ffe twakola yagala obabulira bannange
Mbuga.
mukimanyi bulungi mwafuna omukisa okgenda mu masomero ago agabayamba okutuuka emutuuse naye ate biki bye mukola omusajja Kyagulanyi njagala aveeyo omukumwe omukumwe bwati nga tuzwalira pate agambe nti nno amusinga ku byalina aveeyo omuntu omubwati ku myaka gye nga gifuga naye omwana mwezi yeewaddeyo n'awaayo obulamu bwe alwanira gwe nange. Enguudo ze mutambula muzaagala, amalwaliro gabasanyusa, amasomero g'abaana bammwe gabasanyusa. Wano mugenzi okulwala.
Be on the right side. If you're Ugandan, be on the right side. The moment is coming.
Amasomero agabayamba yogera na Miyago, Buddo, Nabbingo, Gayaza, mwagayitamu gonna. Muli ludda wa mwefudde takuswagala kumanya baba kubalako ebyammwe muleke kubeeranga bakawungo muzuukuke. Oyo Kyagulanyi pulezidenti waffe kumwogerako naye obukumwe agenda kumwenkana naye obulamu bwe alwanirira muwe. Mulinga balina amazzi matu muzuukuke muswaleeko for once mukole ekituufu.
The investors are coming out. Our power.
People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
Everywhere.
FUP.
NUP.
Everywhere.
Ladies and gentlemen, people
Yeah.
power stands for the people, elected by the people.
Yes.
For the people. And guess what? People power.
Our power.
Democracy. But as long as we have a bunch of loonies, rouge traders in Uganda, the mafias are making our lives so miserable. We are going to make so much noise. We're going to speak for the people of Britain. Britain has had enough of the immigrants. I'm sorry, we're all immigrants. But guess what? Somebody is fueling the most of the land and filling up the United Kingdom with immigrants. The people behind us in that building are having a conference to steal your money, to steal the taxpayers' money.
Muwonize abere ku luyo lutuufu.
Let's stand up together. Go on social media. Go and find out the human rights
Abantu kati basigaddeko
of
munaana.
Uganda today. Social media, it's all there. People power,
Our power.
our power,
People power.
NUP.
Thank you,
People
Salom.
power.
Our power.
As you've heard my colleague, we
Yes.
are standing here
Yes.
because of human rights abuses in Uganda.
Yes.
That's why we are here.
Yes.
And there is a so-called investment summit
Yes.
behind the building we here.
Yes.
This is Mayfair Hotel.
Yes.
To have, even to book a conference room for one day, it will cost you, if not £10,000.
Yes.
Officials from Uganda.
Yes.
They will pay £100,000 to come here for only one day conference. While Ugandans in Uganda cannot afford a £1 paracetamol. While Ugandans in Uganda cannot afford a £1 meal.
Yes.
You've got the officials.
Yes.
From Uganda, there are more than 10. You are counting 1 million put under the drain for the so-called business investment conference in Uganda. You're talking about investors, people who have never had business before. You're talking about the so-called investors in here.
They live in
People
council
who
flats.
live on council flats.
Yes.
You and me, you cannot live on a council flat
And be an investor.
Invest in Uganda.
Yes.
It's only in Uganda where this happens. The brutal dictator of Uganda, he has been in power for 40 years.
Yes.
He has never invested in Uganda.
Yes.
Ask yourself, the brutal M7 of Uganda is 13.5 billion pounds rich.
Yes.
He is the richest man in Africa.
Yes.
In Africa, we used to have the richest man from Nigeria.
Dangote.
Dangote.
Yes.
Now the brutal dictator of Uganda
Is the
he has
richest.
taken him over. Ask yourself, a president of Uganda, where does he get that huge amount of money?
BRICS
Because
funds.
of corruption.
BRICS
He
funds.
is the man who have invaded DRC Congo. He has looted the minerals from DRC Congo in the name of Uganda, in the name of democracy. This cannot be democracy in Uganda. When you have a brutal dictator in power for 40 years, In the UK, we've changed 13 prime minister.
We still have
In
one
Uganda,
dictator.
we live under the same brutal dictator. People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
Their children, educated in Oxford and Cambridge.
Yes.
The poorest one.
Education tourism.
London School of Economics. They are paid £30,000 a year.
Yes.
To go their school fees, accommodation, and all of you understand. Most of you have been to the university. Where Ugandans cannot afford to go to school in Uganda. They study underneath the trees in Uganda.
Yes.
When it rains, there is no classes in Uganda.
Hospitals.
When it rains, there are no lessons in Uganda.
Yes.
While they bring their children to Europe for education.
Yes.
Uganda was good.
Yes.
Why their children they are here?
Why do they come to these
Uganda was
hospitals?
good. Why do they come here for medical tourism? They come here for medical tourism because Uganda is a failed state under this brutal dictator.
Yes.
We had to come here and stand for the 45 million Ugandans
Yes.
who cannot stand on the street like us today.
Yes.
Because in Uganda, by wearing the red beret,
Yes.
you might be asking why we have the red beret. It's a sign of torture in Uganda. When
Yes.
you wear red beret, if you're a man, you are going to be sodomized. If you're a woman, you are going to be raped.
Yes.
And this is the torture in Uganda.
Yes.
We are talking about torture in Uganda.
Yes.
All this is not science fiction. These are real images of Ugandans
Yes.
who are being murdered, who are being tortured, who are being raped,
Yes.
who are being sodomized under this brutal regime of M7.
Yes.
We hear people here, they are having a conference to invest in Uganda. Invest in Uganda. You are investing in our rape. You are investing in our torture.
Yes.
You are investing in our kidnapping.
Yes.
That is the day of Uganda.
Yes.
The most worst corrupt country on the world or in the world is Uganda.
Look at the corruption index.
You can check on the corruption index about Uganda. We are not here to take fake news.
Yeah.
Check on the corruption index of Uganda. It will tell you Uganda is the worst corrupt country. And that's where you are going to invest your money. You must be living in a dreamland to think that you can leave UK to go invest in Uganda. We are calling on the Indian brothers of origin, the Asian brothers from India, not to invest in Uganda. People power.
Our power.
People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
NUP.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. Why in the UK we've changed 13 prime ministers? And why in Uganda we still live under the same brutal dictator for 40 years? Simple answer. No democracy in Uganda.
Yes.
No respect for human rights in Uganda.
Yes.
No respect for humanity in Uganda.
Yes.
You're talking about a warlord.
Yes.
A man who picked up arms.
Yes.
He seized Uganda by force.
Yes.
For the last 40 years.
Yes.
We live under this Lord Hope.
Yes.
We live under this Luken M7.
Yes.
M7 of Uganda.
He's a murderer.
He's a murderer. He has been torturing
40
Uganda
years.
for 40 years. Idi Amin was bad. Listen to this. They say Idi Amin was bad because he killed over 50,000 Ugandans. M7 of Uganda.
Yes.
He has murdered more than 3 million Ugandans.
Yes.
You don't sit on the BBC.
Yes.
You don't sit on Sky News.
Yes.
Why? This is what we are talking about.
Yes.
The injustice in Uganda.
Yes.
The human rights abuses in Uganda.
Yes.
Being swept underneath the carpet. Under this brutal dictator of Uganda.
Yes.
He has got lobbyists in the UK.
Yes.
People who go to the BBC.
Yes.
And tell them not to talk about Uganda.
Yes.
He has got lobbyists who will go to the Sky News and
Yes.
tell them, don't talk about Uganda.
Yes.
And in turn, what are they given? They are given brown envelopes not to talk about Uganda.
Yes.
People power.
Our power.
People power.
Our power.
We are here today. The officers are here looking at us. in Uganda would be ready for life.
Yes.
So they are brutal murderers. The so-called policemen in Uganda, we call them thugs. They are murderers.
Murderers.
Here in the UK, the police are making sure that we are safe during our protest. People power.
Our power.
This is what we want in Uganda. This is what we want in the new Uganda, where policemen are part of the community, not the problem among the community. People power.
Our power.
How can you talk about investment?
Yes.
After 40 years in power. After 40 years in power in Uganda, we don't have no working hospitals. We don't have no schools in Uganda.
Yes.
We don't have no hospitals in Uganda.
Yes.
A country of 45 million Ugandans.
Yes.
We have been serviced by 10 working ambulance.
Yes.
Ugandans don't want military patrol cars.
Yes.
The brutal dictator, recently, he bought 30,000 military trucks.
Yes.
But in Uganda,
Yes.
we don't have no working ambulances.
Yes.
Ugandans want hospitals.
Yes.
It's only in Uganda where you find a brutal dictator. He's building, he's constructing prisons than hospitals.
Yes.
Why?
Yes.
Because he wants to silence the opposition. He's
He-
building prisons.
He's got more
He's
prisoners
building
than patients.
He's building death torture chambers where men and women are being raped.
Passing
Where
out
men and
security.
women are being tortured to death instead of building schools.
Yes.
People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
So now, if you are going to invest in Uganda, you are going to invest in our people. You are going to invest in our murder. You are
Yes.
going to invest in our rape.
Yes.
That's why we are here today. To highlight that at no cost
Yes.
you invest in Uganda.
Yes.
Under this brutal dictator.
Yes.
There is no accountability.
Yay.
There is no accountability under this brutal dictator.
Yes.
He is the president of Uganda.
Yes.
The brother is the minister of finance.
Yes.
The wife is the minister of education.
And sports.
The son is the army commander. You go to his nephew.
The brother is the governor.
Saleh. He's the minister.
Governor of
Yes.
Central Bank.
This is it. He's the governor of Bank of Uganda.
Yes.
Uganda as a country.
Yes.
Is being ruled by only 3%. 97 are living under this brutal dictator Museveni.
Yes.
People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
NUP.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Every day. Good morning, Ugandans. Good morning, Ugandans. NUP.
Everywhere,
Everywhere.
NUP.
NUP.
Everywhere,
Everywhere.
NUP.
Now, we've got an investment program going on here. And we don't encourage anybody to invest in Uganda. We discourage and tell you never invest in Uganda. There is nothing to invest to. Look at the people going into the building to be investors. They are from a certain section, a certain group of people who are ready to steal Ugandan wealth and bring it back to Leicester, Bradford, and Birmingham. Look at the people walking in to pretend and masquerade like investors, live on the door. They live under housing benefit. How can somebody on the door walking here with just an iron shirt and trouser and be an investor in Uganda? This is what scheming has been about. Museveni, who has ruled Uganda for 40 years, has been scheming Uganda all throughout. It's the only country where an investor comes and you're given land, an exempted tax, and given the money. We've got the biggest, largest hospital underground. There is a hospital called Noah Hospital. It's not building up, it's building down because it doesn't exist. That's the thing about it. Noah Hospital is an underground hospital with 10 stories in the basement because we've never come out of the foundation. Now, Museveni wants more investors like Maria Benetti, an Italian who has skimmed Uganda over $1 billion. He wants Brazil something, and Somali woman who has skimmed Uganda over 500 million. And now, Lord Puppet in the House of Lords has his group, brothers, relatives, cousins, inside the building there. What are they doing? They are mapping out where to steal and which minerals to steal from Uganda. They have stolen everything to the extent no Ugandan minister, no Ugandan president goes to hospital in Uganda. The hospitals don't function. They all have medical tourism. No Ugandan president, the junta in power and his ministers, all their children come to UK, education tourism. So this is a person who is not ready to invest in Uganda. If he can't build hospitals and schools for Ugandans, then why hold an investment for developing Uganda? He has ripped Uganda of everything. The brother who is the central bank governor in Gulu is in charge of all the minerals. The son is in charge of army. And the wife is the sports minister. She can't even run 5 meters. And then the wife, who has never been to school, is the minister of education. What we are telling you people here, don't come to Uganda to invest. Any sensible person, don't come to Uganda to invest unless you are the likes of Pinetti, the Italian, all these mafias who come and masquerade as investors. I'm not saying anything, but look at the cameras and see the pack of people walking in as investors. You will judge what kind of investors we have in Uganda. People from Bradford, people from Leicester, people from Sheffield. These are the investors. They're all people. Why do we have other people from other walks of life? Because they know how to steal the Ugandan money. Stand warned. In 1972, Idi Amin did something. This time, it's not Idi Amin. It will be the local citizen, they will do something. And that's something, there won't be time for you to pack the goods and leave Uganda. The Ugandans are sick and weary, and they are the most you've caused with a certain group of people is beyond beggars' belief. So, be careful, you investors who are walking in from Bradford, from Leicester, from Halifax, from Wembley. You are not investing in Uganda. You are de-investing. You are given money, and this money you bring it back to UK. We've seen this through Road Puppet. You've seen UK grants being given to Uganda, and then they are brought back to UK. That's taxpayers' money. You can never benefit. You remember the scenario, Rwanda refugee, 350 billion pounds, all thrown down the drain. The same thing has happened in Uganda for 40 years. They have ripped off this country of the rich minerals. They have grabbed every single land, and they have stolen everything you can think of. And these are the so-called investors. And when the junta visits, he heads straight to Wembley and Leicester to shake hands and pick up his load. We've seen this go on every year. There is an annual festival that takes place, and all these people who have been given the investment money, Museveni comes, the junta comes to pick up the money. NUP?
Everywhere.
Everywhere?
NUP.
Everywhere?
NUP.
NUP?
Everywhere.
Kunga?
Uganda.
Kunga Uganda?
Kunga.
People power.
Power.
I see this like Ahmed started the demo. Now, as we are here, members are coming. But before we carry on with this demo, we need to set up a 1-minute prayer. We are going to pray for our president to make sure that the president It covers quick because on the 20th we have him in the UK, and that's why we are here today. Before we go on, we need to say a 1-minute prayer for our president. Mr. Pastor, you need to take over the mic because we are going to have a short prayer to make sure that we send a clear message to the brutal dictator in Uganda that our president, you will never kill him while we are still alive. Thank you. People power!
For power, cannon.
That we should pray for our country. We should pray for every Ugandan. Ugandans' lives matter. Their blood
Speak
is
louder.
the same. Their blood is also red like
A little
any
bit
other person's
away from
blood.
the footway.
So, we are going to pray. Father in heaven, we just want to thank you for this country.
Take Museveni.
This country that has given us this freedom. Freedom to speak for the voiceless. Freedom to stand up and just speak and highlight about the problems that are happening in that beautiful country, Uganda. And Father, today, as we stand here, and there are lots of people trying to do investment in that country, in this
Stand here.
they're trying to have an investment conference, I don't know what, but right behind us, and yet we know, and yet they know that Uganda is a lawless country. There is no freedom of expression. There is no rule of law. And Father, we know of late how much people have been tortured.
Speak louder.
People have been taken to hospital. People have been shot. People have been in prison. People have been abducted. And recently, the president of Uganda was shot. They shot us. And Father, we just want to pray that, Lord, you cover that country. You cover it with your precious blood. That people who live in Uganda will rise up and that they will stop being in fear. Just give them that boldness to rise up and claim their land. I just want to pray for safety for
You still have time to be on the right side. The young man there. You still have some time to be on the right side. Yeah? The right side. The people's side.
Amen.
But your
People power! After having that special prayer to our president,
cannon.
so that
Right, left hand.
and we are waiting for
Right,
him to
left
come
hand.
to the UK next week, that's one. We are here today as a Ugandan community in the UK
Emusonyod.
against the so-called investors in other terminology that call it a crime scene. If they were policemen, they would be calling this place a crime scene. Because criminals from Uganda
I hear.
are here.
Yes.
So in other words, we are standing at a crime scene where crimes have been committed.
Yes.
And if I want £1 million a day while they are here in the so-called investment, your money goes to Uganda
Yes.
to make him more richer. People power.
Our power.
We need to ask accountability
Yes.
from the authorities,
Yes.
the UK government.
Yes.
Why they are still sending your money and my money to Uganda?
Yes.
While the brutal dictator is
Yes.
13.5 billion rich.
Yes.
People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
There is no construction of roads, no schools, no hospitals. The officials here, they've been paid £100,000 for one-day conference,
Yes.
while Ugandans cannot afford a £1 paracetamol.
Yes.
This happens only in Uganda.
Yes.
It's only in Uganda where you find the dictator has got a motorcade of 120 vehicles.
Yes.
But one vehicle costs $200,000 because they are armored cars.
Yes.
So count 120 by 200,000.
Yes.
Of mathematics. That is one day.
Yes.
For the brutal dictator, Ugandans are spending 200 million a day on his expenses. It's only in Uganda where you find a brutal dictator. His wife is the Minister for Education. The brother is the Governor Bank of Uganda.
Yes.
But they are still asking for investment in Uganda.
Yes.
You ask yourself, for the last 40 years, where is the investment gone?
Yes.
Why we don't have no schools in Uganda?
Yes.
Why we don't have no hospitals in Uganda?
Yes.
Why we don't have no roads in Uganda?
Yes.
After 40 years.
Yes.
It's because of the brutal dictator Museveni.
Yes.
People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power. Yes.
People power.
Our power. Museveni must go. Museveni of Uganda must go. Anita must go. Mpuga. Our power. People power.
People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
Ladies and gentlemen, all, we are talking about the injustices, the corruption, the kidnapping, the rapes. These are the factors that are destroying Uganda. We come from Uganda. The people you see here wearing the red berets represent the opposition party which won the elections in February the 14th. Apparently, in Uganda, there is an imposter in the president's office. And this imposter is none other than Museveni, the man who won the 14th election was His Excellency Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here. We've got a conference going on for foreign investors. And they're called SURVE.
Hey, come here, man.
Iruwa lise wano.
Nsereka tusemisinde ngamanye ekibulete mulaye kyabufere abafere nsereka tudufeko wano naye abaana bamunyonya kati we babeera kwalaali bwakyasodika yali badde ono adifendinga gavumenti ye eyekifere. People power, our power. Even MPs for the brutal dictators are running away because they are ashamed to enter through us here. They can know because we are here for the cause of Ugandans. We are here for Ugandans in Uganda. Ugandans who can talk under this brutal regime of Museveni. Now we can see the so-called investors, people who live on council flats in the UK. They are going to invest in Uganda. Ask yourself, what are they going to invest in Uganda? Someone who lives on a council flat going to invest in Uganda. It's only in Uganda where this happens. Those are the investors we are talking about. We are talking about the fake investors from the UK who are running away because these are people who have got no morals. We are calling on this gentleman from India origin. This man was in Uganda. He was born in Uganda. But they decide to turn against Ugandans. But don't forget at the time of Idi Amin, you ran away. But time is coming again.
They will run to the grave.
You'll be running again second time.
Grave.
But this time you are not coming back. People power.
Power, power.
Our power.
People power.
LUP. Everywhere.
To this time they run to the grave. Hello, Ugandans. The investors are busy coming in. We've just had a quick snap of Muhammad Hussein Kagege. He ran his life out. Anyway, he will never run as fast as he did. Now, what we're talking about here is the investors in Uganda coming. But these are people, Uganda gives money to invest in Uganda and exempts them tax, and they don't pay for water, they don't pay for anything. And these are the so-called investors. We have a good example of Mariati Penny, who is building a hospital which has been under construction for the last 5 years, but it's never left the foundation. And Uganda has paid the investor over 700 million. I just can't believe the investor Benetti was given another 500 million to invest in coffee. She was asked, do you know what coffee is? She says, I don't know. So these are the investors we have. The other type of investors we have, which I totally am opposed to, are the investors who live in council flats and they are on the dole and they get state benefits. And then they put on suits to go to Uganda and pretend they are investors because they were linked to the regime, the junta in Uganda. And when they leave Uganda, they come back here and send money to the dictator's account. We as Ugandans are not going to stomach this. People you see here are not beggars. People you see here are professionals. People you see here are children of Uganda. People you see here are from all walks of life. They are all from all walks of jobs. Don't think we are here unemployed. We have doctors, lawyers, engineers, call it whatever you want, nurses, cleaners. But because of the pain we feel, we are dedicating to Uganda. We can't allow to see people who masquerade as investors, stealing money, bringing it back here, and then share the load with the dictator in Uganda. The dictator in Uganda for 40 years has stolen everything. This is a man, for 40 years, he has never built a hospital. But to say the least, he has built 4 hospitals because 4 prisons, because he expects more prisoners than patients. This is a man who is escorted by very expensive cars. Even the fire service, you cannot see the fire engine if you're born in Uganda at the airport. Most Ugandans have never seen what a fire engine looks like because he's denied them emergency service. Fire engines and good policing is an emergency service. It's not a privilege, it's a prerequisite. So the dictator has made people so belittled people so much for people to think that passing out 300,000 soldiers is the best thing. There's 1,111 interns. They don't have the money to go out and start working in the hospitals. Yet he passed out 400 army soldiers who were all paid in advance. Is this fair? Is this what we want for Uganda? The army get paid. The interns who work and run the hospital, the intern make The medical interns have never been given the money to go and work because the government gives an excuse, there is no money. Now, going to another issue, Anita Mount, one of the left hand from 7, she's moving parliament to the north, west, east, and so on. Is this what we want? We are not interested in that. It's like having an investment. Uganda, there is nothing to invest. There is nothing to go and invest in Uganda. Most of the people who you see walking into here are not investors. They are going to loot the country. They are looters. You see the type of people walking in here from Bradford, Leicester, Wembley. They are walking in to see what they can get out of Uganda. They are not investors. They are not going to see what they have to bring to Uganda. For 40 years, these people have never brought anything to Uganda. They are de-investing. They take what is there and take it to ruin. They are not investing. The only thing they're going through this exercise is that the officials enjoy a privilege of allowances. So they get the allowances, fly abroad, and they live a very above average Ugandan life. Don't think they are interested in anybody. When they get sick, they come here. Nobody is working there in the investment to see that he's investing in hospitals or medical facilities. I've given you a good example. Pinetti has been paid 600. How can an investor come and be given money? We expect him to bring resources and invest in Uganda. Is this okay? NUP everywhere. Kunga Uganda. Kunga Uganda. Now, what kind of investors do we have when they barely have any money to invest? You've seen people walking in here. They barely live on dole. They live on housing benefit. And most of them live between Leicester, Bradford, Wembley, and such places. And they're working here as investors. What type of investors who are penniless? You wouldn't be on a benefit and be able to invest. And this is the type of Uganda the junta brings. How can you invest when you can't even afford to feed yourself? You live on the dole. So, Ugandans, don't be convinced. We are here to see that we tell people what is happening. Museveni, the junta of Uganda, has raped Uganda for 40 years. We are left with nothing. He came in when there were 26 functioning hospitals. Today, we have 26 hospitals not functioning. Museveni, when he came in, we had lots of forests. Today, the forests are gone. He came to Uganda when we had schools. Today, we have shelters at schools. Is this investment? No. We don't need their investment. We don't need their money. No. We don't need that. No. Kunga Uganda. Kunga Uganda. No NUP. Everywhere. Thank you for listening.
Hello. Hello. We are Ugandans, but at the same time we are British. We've been here for more than 30 years. But today, we are representing our ancestors in Uganda. Because in Uganda, there's no democracy in Uganda. I would like to go to Uganda, but I'm scared to go there. I haven't been to Uganda for over 30 years. Because of the brutal dictator M7 of Uganda. Now when we are talking about the investment in Uganda, Uganda is not a viable state to invest in because it doesn't respect human rights. When we talk about investment right in Uganda, you're going to invest in our torture, our murder, our rape, sodomizing, and kidnapping. That's why we are standing here, sending a clear message to the fake investors who are coming from the council estates to go and invest in Uganda. Uganda is richer than someone who is come from a council estate to go and invest in Uganda. You have never had a business in the UK. What makes you special that you are going to invest in Uganda? You have never had a corner shop in the UK, but you want to go and invest in Uganda. You know very well that you are going to work for the brutal dictator M7 of Uganda. We know very well that your investment is our torture. We know very well that your investment is our murder. We know very well that your investment is going to sodomize men in Uganda who are being sodomized on a daily basis. Women in Uganda are being raped on a daily basis. Men and women in Uganda are being tortured on a daily basis. We stand here today. We know we've got missing Ugandans who have been missing for the last 44 years under this brutal dictator. But there's no accountability to our missing Ugandans. We have names here. We have John W. We have Muhammad. We have Don Bosco, Musa Kavma, Judah Sempija, Mosisi Mbowa, Musa Kavma, Yasin Toleko, George, Olivia Mtaya, Sepulja, Bani. We cannot name them and finish the list. These are all missing Ugandans. These are Ugandans who were murdered by the brutal dictator. These are Ugandans. We want accountability from the brutal dictator. Ugandans, listen to this. We have a man. By the man, these are people who live on the council estate. And they are coming here and they say they are going to invest in Uganda. Uganda is for Uganda. And whoever is going to invest in Uganda.
Tusonga lugalo gesture police eyinza okukwatira kubebeza ng'oyogera Luganda.
Yeyongereyo. And we say, Mr. Patel can come invest in Uganda. But we are not going to allow the jobless guy to say that they are going to invest in Uganda. We condemn power. We are here for human rights. We are talking about the brutal dictator who said that Uganda. The brutal dictator was being in power for 40 years. In the UK we changed 13 Prime Minister. Ugandans are still in the same brutal dictator who said that Uganda. The brutal dictator who has not tortured and killed Ugandans, but he has also invaded our neighbors. The RC Congo is on fire because of M7. M7 is M23. M7 is M23. These are the people who are calling people. These are the people who think that Uganda is for them. We are telling all these dictators around the world to come out of people.
Take us from Uganda! Murderers! Temo blocking the passage.
Embeera bwetyo bweri wano e Bungereza mu ggwanga lya Bungereza Abannayuganda balinnye mu kyoto bakumyemu ogutaaka olw'obutemu obadde bwagala okukolebwa ku President Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert Bobi Wine n'enfuga embi eya General Museveni yatadde ku ggwanga lyaffe nga bbye buli kimu asaanyizaawo buli kimu tuli mu kubonaabona mu ggwanga eryaffe tuli mu kubonaabona mu nsi eyaffe just olw'omuntu omu ate nga bave baleeta mbu balina kuleeta aba investor baba musiga nsimbi tokate nga jino M7 abakozesa ku sente zo miwomusolo nazibawa nenga bote balina ne batulimbira limbiraawo muno wese ba investor songa tibalina ati nno baagala akwatibwa kangavule yakulwekongoza bulagira n'ebikolobero byonna byazakola ku Uganda abisasulire kubanga kigwanidde. Mbagala nnyo mwenna Mukama bakuume lijja kuba tuddamu mweraba.